Hi everyone, in today's lesson we're going to talk about factoring multivariable trinomials. So what they look like is a trinomial that has basically an x and a y, where there's no GCF that you can actually take out. So how to get this kind of trinomial is when you multiply two binomials with two different variables. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video, and I would like you to double distribute these two trinomials. Okay, this should be your answer. Okay, multiplying these two binomials together happened to result in a trinomial. So we're going to write that in here. Now, what happened if you multiplied the first together? So x times 3x. You got the first term of this trinomial. So we're going to put that in here. First term of the trinomial. If you multiplied the two last terms together, the 5y and the 4y, you got 20y squared, which is the last term of the trinomial. And if you multiplied the outers, which were 4y and x, and the inners, 5y and 3x, and then add them together, you get the middle term. So the outers, 4xy, the inners, 15xy, and you add them together, you get 19xy. So if you multiply the outers and the inners and then add them together, you will get the middle term of the trinomial. So let's see if we can apply this to factor these trinomials. So we have this example here, number 1, x squared minus 6xy plus 9y squared. Is there a number or letter that I can divide all terms by? Is there a GCF? You know, I don't see one, so we're going to go straight to guess and test. So what times what in the first spots of the parentheses will give me x squared? You should be telling me x and x. And now we have to figure out what is going to go in these back end of the parentheses so that it multiplies to 9y squared, but also adds to this negative 6xy. So let's play around with it. I'm thinking the most common factors of 9y squared are 3y and 3y. Or we could even say 1y and 9y. Okay, let's test it out. I'm going to put first 1y and 9y and see what happens. So again, we're testing our outers and our inners. So these are my inners, these are my outers. So xy, or 1xy, and x and 9y multiply to 9xy. So I didn't put the signs in yet, here and here. We don't want to do that. We want to just play around with these two numbers and see if they'll ever add or subtract to this negative 6xy. And the answer is no. If I add these two together, I'll get 10. If I subtract them, I'll get 8. So that's not going to work. So we're going to erase those. Okay, now let's try 3y and 3y. So 3y, 3y. Let's check our outers and our inners. So 3xy and 3xy. That's perfect. This will add, when I add them together, these two will add to a negative 6. But in order for them to add it to a negative 6, we need to have a negative 3xy and a negative 3. Perfect. That's our answer. Okay, let's try example number 2. First things first, we always want to check for a GCF. I don't actually see one here, so we're going to go straight to factoring. So we're going to do two parentheses. Now, in order to multiply to this 2x squared, we're going to need a 2x and a 2x. I'm sorry, a 2x and an x. And now we're going to have to figure out the factors of 15y squared. Again, notice how I'm ignoring that negative, and we're just going to talk about the 15y squared. So it could be 1y and 15y, or a 3y and a 5y. The general rule of thumb, which I don't think I've actually spoke about yet, is most of the time the numbers that are closer to each other, the 3 and the 5, rather than the 1 and the 15, are pretty much going to be your best bet. So let's actually try those first. So I don't know, I'll put the 3y here and the 5y here. And let's see if that actually works. So we'll check our outers, which is 3xy, excuse me, those are the inners, and my outers, which are 10xy. I think I might have done it. We need to have these two numbers somehow add to a 7xy. The only way that's possible is if I make the 3 negative. Because if I take a 10xy and subtract 3xy's, I do get a positive 7xy. So this will be a negative and that'll be a positive. That's it. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is try examples 3 and 4 on your own, pause the video, and hit resume for the answers. Before you do number 3, there is a typo. This here should be a 3b squared. And now you're good to go. Okay, for number 3, you should have put 7a and a, and you want to find the factors that multiply to 3b squared. So the only factors are 3b and b. I just guessed and put them here. So now let's test it out and see if it works. This is 3ab, and this will multiply to 7ab. Oh, looks like I did it good because they will add to a positive 10ab. 3ab plus 7ab will add to a positive 10, so I'm all set to go. Okay, so you might have had some trouble with number 4 if you didn't take out the GCF first. Each of these numbers are divisible by 3. So you want to take out a GCF of 3. And now this in here is the trinomial that you want to factor. So do you notice that the leading coefficient is a 1? So you actually don't even have to do the outers and inners and guess. You can just go straight to regular factoring. So b and b will go here. And I want the factors of 24 that'll add to 16. So let's think about that for a minute. The answer is that there's actually no factors that can add to negative 16. So this is your final answer. You can't factor anything more. This is a GCF only problem. So this is an example of where, you have to look at it and see if you can actually go any further, and if you can't, you're done.